Hey Book Talk, this is part 2 of books that I think are appropriately hyped, overhyped, and underhyped. Starting with some books that I think are overhyped, The Nanny. I think The Nanny is overhyped because overall the romance in that book was just not it for me. I think the character development and the build-up was not there, and they were just a couple who was physical, and that was kind of it, and it wasn't for me. Another overhyped book for me was Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. A lot of people hyped that book up, and I did read it and I thought it was very average. Now moving on to books that are appropriately hyped, I think Never Lie by Freida McFadden is appropriately hyped because the thrill, the plot twist, it was an easy read. Everything in that book was just perfect. If you're into psychological thrillers, it was really nice. I really liked the touch with the listening to the cassette tapes. Another book that I think is appropriately hyped would be Hooked. I am a dark romance girly and I just loved Hooked. If you're into dark romance, I definitely recommend it. Obviously stay away if you're not into dark romance, but Hooked was such a good character. I loved everything about that book. Now moving on to books that I think are underhyped. I think the Friendzone series is underhyped by Abby, and I really love that book. The Friendzone was so beautifully written. I think it's such a realistic and raw romance. I loved it. I also love the second book in there. Another book that I think is underhyped is The Silent Wife by Karen Slaughter. It's a really good read, but it's very violent and very disturbing to read. So definitely check your trigger warnings, but I think Karen Slaughter is an underrated author in general, and I really like that book. Obviously it was hard to read, but I enjoyed the thrill of that book a lot.